To start us off, can you introduce yourself in your own words?
Yes. Thank you for the invitation, first of all.
Shit.
Thank you, universe.
Hey, I'm Taylor Hirschfield, and this is The Core of It, a series by Terra Collective. My goal in founding Terra Collective is to make holistic approaches to mind, body, and spirit health more accessible. In each episode of The Core of It, we'll explore a different healing modality, and I invite you to listen in and experience the practices alongside me. We move beyond symptoms to explore root causes and what it means to approach health as an interconnected whole. Welcome to The Core of It.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm super excited for this conversation and to learn more about you and your offering. So I'm sitting here today with Cecília Foga, and she is a trauma-informed holistic health coach and sound practitioner. But before we dive into my further questions, I'd love to invite you to introduce yourself in your own words.
Thank you for the invitation, first of all, to be part of this interview. I'm very happy to be here with you. My name is Cecília, and I'm a holistic practitioner. I'm originally from Hungary and currently living in Berlin. I work as a holistic health coach with one-on-one clients. I also offer some group practices for people who would like to go deeper into their inner and outer radiance. And sometimes I also work for retreats where I support the individuals through nutritional guidance.
Lots of different paths that you've mentioned. I'm intrigued to hear how they all come together. And how did you actually come into this path?
Well, it's a longer story. Originally, I studied economics in Hungary. So I come from the business background and I worked as a project manager. So mainly I was just sitting in front of a computer. And this was my path for 7 years, when I actually started recognizing different symptoms in my body. And I often was very ill. And I was always interested in healing modalities. I did theta healing, family constellation, psychotherapy back in the days. And when I started recognizing that I was more sick than I should have been, I asked myself the question, what actually is the root cause of that? And then I realized that subconsciously I was making myself sick because I was not feeling fulfilled to go to the office and work the job that I had to do. So after a couple of months, I actually quit my job and I decided that I want to study more about holistic health coaching. So this was my first bigger shift. Actually, before that, I was already interested in sound healing. So thanks to my job, I traveled to India, where I was outsourcing some parts of my job. And that was the first time when I actually received a full one-on-one sound massage and sound therapy. And when I came back, I felt this is definitely something I would love to work with. So I applied for working as an intern for a collective who worked with sound. I changed my job from a full-time to part-time. And then after that, I quit to study this holistic health coaching course alongside still continuing the internship in the sound collective.
Okay, so it was originally your own chronic health conditions that led you to exploring more holistic nutrition, and then you went to India, experienced sound healing for the first time, and felt called to actually learn it yourself.
Yeah.
And what year was your India trip?
It was in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from that point, you started working as an intern in the Sound Collective. And at what point did you actually quit your job and start kind of being a holistic practitioner full time?
So I quit my job in 2020.
Okay.
So almost right after I came back from India.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I started being part of this collective and already practicing a lot of sound healing sessions with them. We went to many festivals. We also had many group sessions in Berlin. So I was in direct contact with what I wanted to do, but I didn't really feel that I was ready to actually be a practitioner. So I did my holistic health coaching training for a year. And then after that, life actually brought a different path for me. I started cooking and taking pictures of the food that I was creating, which were like high frequency food. But then I got a job offer to become a food photographer. So this was a little curve in my path where I felt like I have to go for it. It was kind of my dream when I was younger. So I couldn't actually commit to become a practitioner until going through this curve of becoming a food photographer and then leaving. So my studies were 1 year long and 1.5 years long. And then after that, I think in 2022 or 23, I actually started offering my sessions.
And this is for holistic health coaching?
Yes, and sound as well.
And sound as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow both came together at the end. I feel like when we give some space for what we actually want, the opportunities come. But I was very busy being a food photographer. So during that time, I was mainly just learning and deepening my knowledge. And after that, I was also more ready to step into this role. But I also feel I had to go through some limiting beliefs and some mindset work that was holding me back from believing that I can actually be in service for others.
Okay, that makes sense. And I had a question going back to something you said. You said you were focused on high frequency food. What does that actually mean?
For me, it's very important that the food that you consume or that we consume is high vibration, high frequency, which means that they are non-processed, organic, maybe seasonal, so they can actually have the highest value to your system and get the most amount of nutrition from them.
So interesting. And it's interesting thinking about the frequency of food and also the fact that you're working with frequencies of sound. How do these two ideas play together?
Interesting question. I guess everything in the universe is based on energy, frequency, and vibration. So all the things that we see or don't see, even the thoughts, have a vibration. And when we work with sound, our aim is actually to allow our system to get exposed to these frequencies. And then these frequencies start to move through our bodies and bring everything back into harmony. And it's the same with food. Like if you eat something that's highly processed or full of sugar, or maybe even have some additives that are not really healthy for you, if you eat these kind of foods, they have low vibration in a way. And they will also lower the vibration of your cells. So for example, if you eat a fresh salad or a juice, they have so much more nutrition than eating a muffin from the bakery. So everything actually just comes together within you to bring you into the most radiant version of yourself.
It makes a lot of sense when you think about kind of bringing your internal frequencies into harmony somehow. And it seems like in your offering, and I haven't actually thought of it this way, you're doing it in two ways, like externally and internally. You're aligning the internal frequency by what you physically feed yourself and the external frequency with this bath of high vibrational sound, which is super interesting.
Yeah, I truly believe that outer radiance comes from inner alignment, and the more you take care of yourself internally, that also radiates out externally. It's really not about skincare or products that you put on your skin only. It really comes from mindset and also nutrition and everything that you put inside.
Makes a lot of sense. I'm curious, what was your relationship to the body, health, or beauty before you found this work? And how has that relationship changed?
When I was a child, I used to dance ballet in grammar school. So from 8 years old until almost 16, I was dancing ballet every single day. So I definitely had to work on letting go of certain beliefs about myself. I was very critical towards myself because I always had more curves. So I could never really fit into the idea how I should have looked like in the past. So I definitely suffered from bulimia and eating disorders. So the connection to my body was a bit distorted. And I feel it's still an everyday practice to look into the mirror and say, I accept you, I love you. So I feel it's also a lot about, cultivating this self-love, because I feel, that's somehow the most important element from this all, because it's important not to come from the perspective that I need to fix myself, I need to change something in myself in order to be loved from others, but really come from the place that, I know what's good for me, I want to take care of myself, but not because I don't love myself, but exactly because I love myself. So I think it was a big journey. And it's still an ongoing process.
Thank you for sharing. I think it's interesting also. I'm thinking of like how this question of vibration comes in when we think of these thoughts and cultivating self-love and taking the time to look in the mirror and see the best version, like looking for the light over the shadow. How does this play into this kind of vibrational question of what you're feeding yourself and how I guess the practice of cultivating high vibration sits further outside of even just what you feed yourself? Like you said, it's our thoughts have vibrations and frequencies. Yeah, I don't know if there's like I guess I'm curious if you have anything more to share on how you cultivate that high vibration in your own life.
Yeah, I definitely feel that daily habits contribute to this inner alignment. So I try to focus on starting the day slowly and working with my mindset, regulating my nervous system through breath, and keeping my peace of mind through meditation. I also really find journaling and gratitude journal very important. I used to be someone who complains a lot about life, and cultivating daily gratitude was really helpful for me because I started to shift my perspective from what's missing or what I don't have in my life to what I have and what is actually beautiful and what I can be grateful for. So that was one of the biggest shifts that helped me feeling more aligned and healthy and happy in my life. And I also suffered a lot from chronic stress. So I truly believe that when we are stressed in our lives, and of course we are exposed all the time to situations, the world is also going through a lot. So it's very important that we regulate our nervous system on a daily basis, because the more resilience we have, the more we can also tackle the situations that are coming to us or on our path, in order to actually feel grounded.
Absolutely. I can definitely resonate a lot with gratitude journaling. And even on like the most, like the darkest of days, if you just kind of sit and force yourself to think of the 5 things you're grateful for, it somehow shifts something in perspective of how we see the situation. So I'm curious to know a bit more about your offerings. And I find it so interesting talking to different practitioners, and a lot of the practitioners I've spoken to have combined a lot of different things very intuitively. And I really find this combination between sound and nourishment, like physical nourishment, with this idea of frequency, really interesting. So I'm curious, when people come to you, what are they seeking? And how do you usually work with them or help them?
So, yeah, I have different offerings, and often people come from different backgrounds, but maybe they would like to improve their life. And yeah, based on my studies, my focus is on holistic approaches. So the food what you actually eat is only secondary, because everything that you feed off from different parts of your life actually contributes also to how you feed yourself from the plate. So it's often about figuring out what's holding them back from actually taking care of themselves. And sometimes they come with some emotional difficulties, and because I studied compassionate inquiry in the past, I also work a lot with people who would like to go through their difficulties from childhood in order to actually step into their power, or to understand how they can take actually better care for themselves through nutrition or skincare. I have different offerings where I also combine these elements.
Yeah, you have something called the Glow Protocol, which I am very, very curious about. I think this is something that pretty much everybody wants to know. Like, how can I glow? How can I manifest glowing skin and glowing hair? And maybe you can tell us a little bit more about this Glow Protocol offering you have.
So the Glow Protocol is a 3 weeks online program where we go through different elements. First, we start to understand the gut and the skin connection. So what are actually the foods that supports your glow from inside out? And what are the habits that also contribute? So you can commit to something from the beginning and see the transformation in the upcoming 3 weeks. We also learn a lot about what are the foods that help with collagen generation and how you can actually create hydration within you. I also talk about supplementation, what are the important elements of different vitamins. And then the second week we talk more about the actual skincare. So how can you support your skin in the morning? What are the important elements? How can you soothe your skin in the evening? And we also talk about different skin types. And the third week, we go deeper into mindset work. So actually looking more into cultivating self-love, self-acceptance, and also working with EFT tapping, which is the emotional freedom technique, to bring your body into alignment.
Super interesting. So you start with food, then you go into actual skincare, and then more into the emotional realm,
Yes.
which, as we already discussed, like thoughts and mindset also have frequencies, which I guess also affect what we perceive to be a glowing state.
Yeah.
Super interesting. When you say you are a trauma-informed practitioner, what does that mean?
So that means that I also completed the Compassionate Inquiry course, which is a psychotherapeutic approach for trauma healing. So in the sense, I'm trauma aware and I can work with people who experienced bigger or smaller traumas in their lives, and I'm able to guide them and support them in their processes of releasing certain beliefs and come back to their essence in the sense of acceptance and having a different perspective on some situations that caused maybe harm in the past.
Okay, that brings me to my other question, which is asking a bit more about compassionate inquiry. What is this course? And could you share a bit more about what it is?
So it's a 1-year course plus the mentorship after, where you learn a lot about trauma and the nervous system and inner child work, also different modalities working with plant medicine maybe, but the focus is on trauma healing. And it's a modality introduced by Gabor Mate, who's a practitioner from Hungary or Canada. And it's a very deep and interesting course, and I learned a lot about myself, and it's also a bit intense, so you have to be ready for diving deep into your own shadows as well in order to overcome and become a practitioner. But all in all, if you're curious about working with trauma, it can be something that you can explore.
Okay, so you have, and we didn't also talk about this, but you did your holistic health certification with Institute of Integrative Nutrition?
Yes.
Okay, so you have your holistic health coach certification and the compassionate inquiry, as well as sound healing based on this experience you did with Sonero Collective.
Yes.
And the newest piece that you're adding to your toolkit, let's say, is the facial massage, lymphatic drainage that you're exploring, kind of more formally adding.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. And we might be getting into this in our own session, but I'm curious if you have any easy tips, for example, for foods that you can and should eat, or maybe shouldn't eat for glow, like easy glowy recommendation. Or like you said, certain foods have positive effects on collagen production. Do you have any easy recommendations on this?
So the easiest recommendation is hydrate yourself. So every morning is very important that you wake up and drink warm water, even with electrolytes or a pinch of salt. That's very important. And it's definitely recommended to avoid sugary drinks, sugary snacks, everything with sugar. Sugar is really kind of the enemy of glowing skin, I would say. And I recognized on my body that for me also gluten is a little bit triggering. So everyone is different. Everyone has a different system, of course. So you have to understand what's good for you. But I would also maybe reduce a little bit highly processed white bread or very extreme foods. Like, for example, if you read the food label and you can't recognize one element, I would not eat that. And not necessarily just for glow, but for general health. And I would aim for green, leafy greens or vegetables. Also, protein is very important. It can be omega-3 for fish or sardines. Very good to eat carrots and a lot of vegetables. Watery fruits as well, watermelon. Or if you drink juices, aim for vegetable juices that are very good. So it's also not spiking your insulin level. These were big.
Nice. I love the suggestion of starting the day with some electrolytic water. That's not something that I currently do. So maybe this will help me glow a bit more. What's your favorite part about what you do?
I think my favorite part is to see the end result or the happiness on my client's face. Whenever they receive a sound bath or after my face sculpting classes, they always feel really relaxed and radiant. And yeah, it's just such a nice feeling to see them connect to themselves and create this ritual where they can actually nurture themselves. So yeah, I think it's a very beautiful process to see other people cultivate self-love towards themselves.
Beautiful. And I don't think we actually talked about the face sculpting. Curious to maybe hear a bit more about this face sculpting offering as well.
So the face sculpting class I offered in a studio in Berlin. Actually, next week is the last class in person because I want to move it also online. A lot of people couldn't really join because of the working hours, and I thought it could be very nice to do it on Saturday mornings or Sundays, just waking up and really stepping into this for yourself.
I could have used a face sculpting class this morning. With my puffy wake up.
Yes, it's a perfect start for the day. So the face sculpting is a mixture of exercises, lymphatic drainage massage, and also some nervous system regulation at the end. Every class started with some meditation and intention setting. I always find that very important. And then we move into different practices where we work with the face, but also beyond the face, the shoulder and the neck. Because often what we see on our face, it actually comes from the shoulders and the posture that we maintain during the day. And the aim of face sculpting is to release the tension from the overused muscles and to strengthen the underused muscles. So you can actually cultivate radiant and lifted appearance instead of using Botox or any kind of fillers.
So it's kind of like a massage plus gym for your face.
Yes, something like that.
Okay, so you not only have the inner glow, outer glow, but also like glow workout.
Yes.
Plus kind of aligning the frequencies internally and externally through diet and sound. And overall kind of looking at life outside of just, because it's not just diet, like you said, when we look at health, it's so much more.
Yeah.
So interesting. I'm seeing how it all fits together in this very, very holistic offering. Okay, so maybe we should talk a bit about the session. I am curious to hear what you have in mind to do together today with, all of these different realms that we've spoken about in mind. How should we focus our time today and what should I expect?
I was wondering if you would be up for having a little bit of this massage. So we can prepare a lymphatic drainage and a self-massage that you can also then practice at home. And then we can do some nervous system regulation with sound and come back, and maybe if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer you afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do it. What can I expect in a session like this?
Well, I feel this session is always an invitation for you to connect to yourself. So it's less about aiming for a certain end result, but more envisioning and feeling into what qualities you would like to cultivate and how would you like to feel at the end. So every touch or whenever you connect to your body can also be really a ritual for yourself to infuse all your cells with these intentions. And when you wake up after the session or open your eyes, I always like to invite people to actually take these intentions that they set at the beginning and ask themselves, how can I continue cultivating that outside of the session as well?
Amazing.
We're now moving into the session. You can join me to follow along for a guided lymphatic drainage and facial massage. You can jump straight to 50 minutes to experience the sound healing journey, or you can go directly to an hour and 11 minutes to hear the post-session interview.
Closing our eyes and observing and feeling the sensations in the body. And allowing them to be without any force or any need of change. Inviting your presence. To connect to yourself. And to have this upcoming session as a little self-care ritual for you. And I invite you to focus on your heart space for a moment. And ask yourself, what's actually your why behind? And as I mentioned before, it's not about a certain goal that you would like to reach, but what kind of qualities would you like to embody throughout the session? Maybe after as well. Softening the belly, softening the shoulders. And let's have one deep inhale in the belly, in the chest. And exhale everything through the mouth. One more time, deep inhale. Sigh everything out. And one last time. And hold it for a moment. Opening your shoulders, opening your heart space. Bringing your energy up through your spine. Until the top of your head. Sip a bit more air in. And hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and let go. Coming back to your natural breathing. And you can gently tilt your head to the left, keeping your eyes closed and allowing the stretch in the neck. Going to the other side. And allowing the head to fall to the front and stretching the back of your neck. And making some circles. Your own tempo. Changing the direction. Slowly coming back to center. And gently blinking your eyes open. How do you feel?
Grounded. I have a little bit of tightness, stiff neck situation in here that I felt in the neck circles. But definitely like grounded in my body. Thank you.
Nice, we can work with that as well. So I always like to start with some lymphatic massage or activating the lymphatic nodes. The lymph system doesn't have a pump, so whatever we want to release, we actually have to move it either through breath or through touch. So I always like to start with that. So we're gonna create some heat with our palms, just bringing the energy and the intentions, and gently start pressing this hip area. There are some lymph nodes here. It doesn't necessarily have to take long, but it's always good to start with this. Also, if you go to the sauna, it's very good. We can go to the arm, underarm. You can sense that there are some nodes here. They are a bit more sensitive. And going to the other side. Gently pressing the collarbones. And you can create some V shape with your fingers and circulate in front and behind your ears. Moving next to your nose and your top of the eyebrow. And gently tapping the scalp. And release. So you mentioned you have some tightness in your shoulders. Usually when we get this tightness in our neck area or shoulder, that actually somehow pulls or like pushes the lymph nodes. So nothing that's in the face area can leave because of that. So whenever we have some tension in the shoulder, it's always good to work with that a little bit. So maybe we can start by just bringing one of our palms in the shoulder area and start massaging this trapezius, which is in the back. You can also support your elbow if you want to go deeper, and really give yourself a gentle rub. Moving to the other side. You can release. Is there any area that you would like to focus on today?
What are examples of areas that you would focus on?
Well, we can definitely work with the neck and release the tension from the neck. And yeah, we can work with the jawline, the cheekbones, the eye area, and even the forehead. We can also do like a full lifting massage that can go through every area.
Maybe let's do that. I'm curious. I think generally, like, I struggle
with very puffy eyes in the morning. And I'm always curious about how I can use facial massage and tools and routines to depuff my eyes. But from what I've understood, and also from what you said, it seems like it's kind of a whole process of also like releasing the tension that sits below. And so maybe it makes sense to do the whole face.
Sounds good. So I have this blend that I usually make for all my sessions. It's an organic blend which also helps with creating some movement between your hands and your face. It has only organic ingredients. They're very good for your skin elasticity. It also has vitamin C, so...
And you make it yourself?
Yes.
Cool.
Can create some heat, and it has also rose and some other scents that are also connected to the heart space, so it's kind of like a full-on ritual.
Smells amazing.
Can gently tap on the neck and the face area. Perfect. I can start by just massaging the neck and moving up and down, creating some nice gentle movements. And always close your eyes and really feel your body. Moving to the jawline and start gently scooping the chin. Our aim with all this massage is to bring blood flow to the cells and bring the movement. Moving to the left side and following your palms after each other. Going to the other side. Coming back to the center and gently pinching alongside your jawline, activating the muscles. And coming back to the nasolabial fold and moving from the bottom up. So it's important that we don't go very deep here, rather on the surface. And when we reach here, we open the mouth. Yes. Let's do it 3 more times. And release. You can create a little T-Rex finger and coming from the center of the nose and moving out and up to the temples. Very good.
How much pressure should I put here?
You can go a bit deeper, but not pulling too strongly the skin. Let's again do it 3 more times. And release. We're gonna work with the chewing muscle, which often holds a lot of stress and anger also. So whenever you work with certain parts of your body, they are also somehow connected to certain emotions that we store there. And we also use the chewing muscle the most in our body. So it's kind of overused, and that can create a lot of tension. So we're gonna release the tension here by creating a C shape and gently opening the mouth. You can relax the tongue and start massaging from the top and just moving down. So it's important that you focus on the chewing muscle, which is more closer to your ear. For example, when you open and close, you feel where it is. So you can go really deep here. Here you can go stronger. It might be also a bit tense or painful. So pay attention what feels right. It should not feel like a punishment. But it's also good to work and release, especially because we really use this muscle often.
Feels good.
It's also important to keep breathing in the belly and bringing oxygen to the cells while we do these exercises. Let's do it 2 more times. And then release. And shake your shoulders. And we're gonna arrive to this cheekbone area where we're gonna do my favorite exercise, which looks a bit funny, but definitely very good. So it's gonna look like that we open our mouth and a very big O shape, and we try to smile. So we're gonna activate these muscles, because the more we activate these muscles, actually the less of this nasolabial fold we have, because we generally just lift the face with strength. So this is how it's gonna look like. And we're gonna do this for like 30 seconds.
Okay.
It might be challenging sometimes, but maybe it's actually very easy. Let's see. Okay. You can try to squint your eyes a bit less. You can even hold it there. Very good. Let's do it 5 more times. And release. Usually if you do this every day for like a couple of minutes, you will definitely see a change in your facial structure. I also like to always say that if you do it once, nothing's gonna change. It's like going to the Pilates only once in your life, not gonna bring you a Pilates body. So I think it's more like a routine that if you do it every day for 5 minutes, you will see a long-lasting benefit compared to doing once a month.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then coming to the eye area, so here we have to be a bit more gentle. So you can go with your ring finger around and just releasing the tension from here. In the morning, I would recommend to have a cucumber in the freezer and just take it out and work around your eye area and even the face.
Yeah.
And just cut the slice and put it back in the freezer. So that can be a very good tool in an everyday use for...
So you like hold the cucumber whole and then rub it and then cut the end off?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's really good. And also lymphatic massage. If you suffer from like puffiness in the morning, just doing this lymph activation and swiping everything out is very good. And then coming to the center of your forehead and moving upward. And coming back to the eyebrow, and you can gently pinch in the center and move outwards. Here you can also go beyond the skin and really work with the muscles. And back to the forehead, and you can start swiping it also to both directions. And let's bring everything down from the forehead to the eyes, also from the nose to the collarbone, a couple of times. And releasing your arms and closing your eyes for a moment. Maybe feeling into the sensations of your touch on the skin and how certain parts were activated or released. And sending gratitude to the body and for yourself, that you take care of yourself. And with the least amount of work, you can lay down, and we're gonna enter the relaxation state.
We'll now begin the guided sound journey. You can join along, put in headphones, close your eyes, and experience it alongside me, or you can jump to an hour and 11 minutes to go directly to the post-session interview.
So landing in this final relaxation in the body. Slowly stepping away from the active mind. Deepening the breath. And bringing your intention back to your focus. What is the quality that you would like to cultivate? Let's have one more deep inhale in the belly. And let everything go. You can slowly deepen your breath. And gently move your fingers, your toes. Bringing bigger and bigger movements to the body through stretch. And if it feels right for you, you can give yourself a gentle hug or squeeze. You can rock from side to side and eventually land on your favorite side for a couple of more breaths. And when you feel ready, you can gently lift yourself up, keeping still your eyes closed. And feeling into the body again. And allowing the physical sensations to be more and more present. Bringing our palms in front of our heart together. I always like to invite the participants to activate their own vibration, their own sound. And we're gonna do that with chanting Om. Let's have a deep inhale. And exhale everything out. Inhale for Om. And again, creating some heat with your palms. And you can gently place it in front of your face, allowing the energy to travel. Creating some space between your fingers, allowing light in. And gently blinking your eyes open, releasing your palm. How do you feel?
I'm very relaxed, very relaxed, calm. I'm grounded in my body.
That's perfect. Well, thank you for your trust.
Thank you for that very, very beautiful combination of facial massage and sound bath. I'm feeling very grounded and relaxed and yeah, just peaceful. I am curious what happens to the body and the nervous system in a session like this.
So in a sound session, we always aim to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's the rest and the reset. Usually when we are living in our day-to-day life, our mind is very active and we are also often in this fight and flight mode. So when we expose our bodies to these frequencies, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is, of course, bringing everything into a theta state, a more relaxed mind, and everything starts to actually rejuvenate in yourself.
That makes a lot of sense. I learned in my first interview, I interviewed a hypnotherapist, and she spoke a lot about theta state and the magic that can start to happen when you shift yourself into that state.
Yes.
Interesting that it also makes sense that you move into that state in a sound healing setting as well. During the sound healing session, I realized I would love to learn a bit more about what we didn't dive so deep in, which is your path into sound healing. And you said you did an internship with a sound collective here in Berlin. I was curious to learn more about that time and what that was like, and yeah.
Yeah, it was a very beautiful time of my life. So I came back from India, as I mentioned, and I really had this calling to work with sound. And somehow it happened very organically. I met a friend and he recommended me that I should follow this collective called Sonero Collective. And I started following them, and 1 week later they posted that they are looking for an intern. And even though I was working full time and somehow there was no possibility to change my job to part time, I somehow still felt the calling to apply. And obviously I got the internship 1 day after.
Wow.
And everything shifted very fast. I talked to my boss that I would love to do this, and usually it takes like 3 months to shift, but for me it happened within 1 week. So somehow I really felt that everything is supporting my decision. And it was already a long time ago. I started practicing with them and going to different events, different festivals in Germany where we hosted sound healing sessions. And eventually I also did the sound facilitator training with them. So this was my first part. We are still very good friends. And I'm very grateful for their guidance at the beginning. And after that, I really felt a calling to work more with the gongs. This training I did with them was focusing on an introduction to how sound works, and also to the Tibetan bowls, smaller instruments. We had a glimpse into working with the gongs, but all in all, I wanted to have a proper training in that as well. And again, very magically, I got a job working with Kay Carl. And I received a sound session from her. And in that moment, I knew that I need to learn from her. So, yeah, 1 year later, I went back and I did a 7 days training in learning to work with the gong in an intuitive way. And that was also a very powerful practice. I really felt that it opened up new doors, and I really felt and feel connected to this instrument.
What does the connection to the instrument feel like for you?
My teacher always said, and I also feel it's very true, that the gong is kind of a mirror to you. So whenever you play these instruments, whatever you put in, somehow it reflects back to you. So somehow I feel it's a deep conversation when I'm playing the instruments, because your mind is very present sometimes, and all these questions and doubts come up, and it's a true practice to bring back your attention into your body, to center yourself and have this conversation with these instruments that at the end will ripple out everything that's put into it.
Beautiful. And I'm curious to know a little bit more about that moment in India that opened you to sound, that kind of opened this door for you and built the calling inside you.
I actually realized that I got introduced to sound much before. I still used to live in Budapest, and I remember that I used to go to this Kundalini and Gong meditation there every full moon. This was my practice in 2015 to show up and be present there. And there I already felt like, wow, I really love the gong. But I still didn't really believe in myself that it's possible to have this as my job. When I'm so interested in something, I still felt that I need to earn money with working in a 9 to 5. And then, I came to Berlin, and I also went to a couple of gong sessions, but they were all in a group setting. And I still didn't believe that it's something that I can do. And then I went to India, and I spent 1 week in Rishikesh. And there I signed up for this one-on-one sound session. So I received this beautiful sound bath with different instruments, and I also bought my first little gong in this shop, which was the same owner from the sound facilitation. And I remember that I received this 1 hour session, and I, after that, left like I was flying on clouds.
Wow.
And I really felt that this is something I have to learn and I have to do, because it was just so amazing for my nervous system. And I think maybe this was the first time when I actually felt that someone was also working with intention, with sound on my body. And that was a really big turning point in my life.
Beautiful. Sounds like you were getting little nudges from the universe for a while. I didn't realize your journey with the gong and sound goes back 11 years. And it sounds like it kept creeping in until you had to pick up the phone. The gong was calling.
Exactly.
Beautiful. So I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into how people typically work with you. What does it typically look like to work with you one-on-one?
So there are many different ways someone can work with me. Some people just come for a sound session, which can also be 75 minutes or 90 minutes, depending on how deep they want to go. Already in this session, I like to work with intention and a bit of clarity around the topics the participants would like to work on. And sometimes I also work with compassionate inquiry, which is focusing mainly on trauma healing and going deep into inner child work. And I also have the Glow Protocol, which is a 3 weeks program, which I launch usually 2 times per year. And I also work with people in one-on-one containers, which are a bit longer. And I truly believe that these are the containers where actually we can implement new habits and see the long-lasting change, because we commit to this goal and we go through different processes and go deeper and deeper in understanding also the blockages that we are experiencing within ourselves that are holding us back from committing fully to our well-being. So I truly believe that everyone is very individual, so everything is kind of tailored for your needs. But throughout every session, also my one-on-one, I bring some information for nutrition, also for nervous system regulation, skincare, or even building routines together that are necessary for you to feel your best. And everything is tailored for your needs. But mainly focusing on bringing inner alignment and through that outer radiance.
Yeah. I'm hoping that I glow more after this time with you today.
You already glow.
I'm curious what you think modern wellness culture often gets wrong about healing or glow.
I think in general, I feel that we are living in a world where everything is a bit commercialized and also influenced by capitalism. So, of course, I believe that everyone should earn money with what they are doing. But I feel that there is a distortion reality where when we are aiming for certain standards and we are comparing ourselves to, let's say, the models from advertisement, and we kind of forget that aging is also part of nature. So it should not be something that we run away from, but somehow, accept and also cultivate a healthy relationship too. And I feel it's the same with skincare products or even supplement. We have so many options that at the end I feel we are super overwhelmed. So I definitely feel that it's good to be grounded and knowing what do we actually need, and don't get lost in option paralysis, that there are so many things that we have to do, because at the end we don't have to do nothing, just keeping healthy habits. Somehow that's how I see.
It's a beautiful reminder that aging is a part of life and it's to be embraced. What does embodied health look like in an ideal future, not only on an individual level, but on a community level?
Well, I feel that embodied health represents for me living in community, living with people you love. I studied also about it that love is one of the healthiest things that we can experience, and not necessarily in a relationship context with our partners, but also the love we feel for our family or what we receive from our friends. And it actually contributes to longevity a lot. Let's say almost more than eating your green vegetables. So for me, that's very important to cultivate healthy relationships and practice being in connection with yourself and in nature, respecting nature, taking care of nature, and even maybe learning about how to grow your own vegetables, own fruits, and being in this symbiosis where you take something, but you also give back.
Yeah, that sounds right. I really like the reminder that if we're not cultivating love within ourselves and with the people around us, like nothing else actually really matters.
Yeah.
It's actually, maybe one of the most powerful things we can do to live in this embodied health state. And also the reminder to live in symbiosis with nature and our environment, and not to be extractive in the way that we live, but to try to create harmony. What feels most alive for you right now in your work? And where do you feel it's evolving?
It's a big question. I definitely feel that things start to come together recently or now. I still feel in the last couple of years I did many different things, working with food as a photographer or working with food as a chef. And currently what's alive for me is to actually make space for what's fully gives me excitement, which is working with more people one-on-one or cultivating more of my offerings. I also would love to learn more about lymphatic massage and also facelifting massage, maybe also just for me. I don't know if I really will use that for my clients. But I heard, I received many recommendations that I should do it because a lot of people are curious and interested. So that's very alive, but generally just actually to put myself out there and be more visible, because I feel I reached a point now. I think in the past I went through a lot of this imposter syndrome that I have to learn more, I need to do more in order to be in the best service for others. But now I feel that it's actually more about actually doing it. So bringing all my ideas that I had into actions, because that's the only way that people can actually receive it. So,
Exciting. All right, Year of the Fire Horse. It's time to put it all together and do it.
Absolutely.
Well, I having just experienced a container that you created, can definitely say I'm excited to see where you evolve and how you integrate all of these different interests and areas of expertise, because I think you have something really beautiful to offer.
Thank
So
you.
I'm excited to see how it evolves as you step into this next phase. Okay. One interesting question I'm curious about is if you have any, and you can also come back to me on this, I'm curious if you have any like books or resource recommendations that have shaped the way you think about healing.
Well, if you look at my bookshelf, it's only about self-help books.
I noticed that earlier. It's like, ooh, she's gonna have a lot of nice book recommendations.
Yes. Yeah, I like to read about different type of modalities. I definitely recommend the books from Gabor Mate. He's one of my teachers as well. So, yeah, the way how he approaches trauma and how it stays in the body, I think it's a very interesting approach, and you can learn a lot from that. And actually have a lot. So I read a lot of books about theta healing. Also, Letting Go is a book I really, really loved. And yeah, different type of relationships, attached. It's very interesting to learn about your attachment style. And maybe a book is called How Not to Die. It's about diets and certain nutrition factors that we can implement. Maybe medical medium for the liver cleanse. And there are a lot of other books as well that I'm happy to share later.
Cool. I'll follow up with you and get all of your lists so I can include it in the episode. So, final question. Where can people find you or experience your work if they feel called?
So currently I live in Berlin, but I also have online sessions, so people can definitely find me online, no matter where they are in the world. I have a website called www.ceciliafoga.com, and also Instagram, Cecília Foga, or a newsletter, Telegram. I have many different channels where people can reach me. The one-on-one sessions can take place online, but also the sound sessions mainly in person. I also travel sometimes through the world, so maybe people can also catch me somewhere else.
Cool. I'm very excited to see how your offering continues to evolve and, yeah, for the world to also benefit from what you have to offer. So with that, I thank you so much for this interview and for sharing your story and your practice and your knowledge with me. It was a beautiful conversation, and I'm excited to share it with the world.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, that's a wrap.
Thanks for tuning in to the core of it. I hope the conversation was useful and interesting. For more information about Terra Collective and the practitioners highlighted on the core of it, or to join the collective as either a practitioner or seeker, go to our website at www.terra-collective.co.